let's have a conversation about how to make a pitch deck for investors. So whether you are a startup or you are an established business, you got to have a clear strategy on actually developing the perfect pitch deck for investors, so you can actually get the $1 million that you need or the $10 million that you need. Okay, so let me talk to you about the main elements here. So if you want to structure your pitch deck to win over investors, first thing first, you have to understand that the pitch deck is actually the foundation of everything. But the pitch deck is just a paper. It's just some kind of paper. Okay. The most important thing is the storytelling. What kind of story are you conveying to investors? Pitch deck actually materializes the story, but the storytelling is what's going to win you. It's going to really win you the $1 million or $100 million, whatever you need. Okay. So no matter what stage of funding your company is at, your pitch deck will need to cover a few things. Actually, our research has shown that you need to cover 6 important topics. Number 1, your mission or vision. So that's the very first page, the very first slide in your pitch deck. Number 2, the problem you are solving. See, the problem you're solving is not about just saying, I have this product or I have this service and it's going to solve this problem. No, the thing is, how are you connecting the problem to the pain points of your target audience? In other words, you solving a problem, but hey, listen, are you solving this problem, like, let's say, temporarily, or are you solving this problem permanently? It's important if you want to scale later on. Okay. So number 3, the market size of the opportunity. So that's the third thing you want to have in your pitch deck. So if you want to make a pitch deck for investors, make sure you have the market size of the opportunity. You are able to quantify the market potential. Number 4, your product and what makes it unique. In other words, why should your target audience think your product is superior to what's currently in the market? Okay. Number 5, traction and revenue. So if you want to have a winning pitch deck for investors, make sure you have traction and revenue. You need to quantify the potential, the revenue potential. And 6, evidence that your team can execute. So here, I'm talking here about the bios of the team members, the founders. Okay, maybe they're a skill set, maybe they're a background, all that kind of stuff. But you have to really contextualize the capabilities that your team is bringing to the table for investors to really believe you. Because simply saying, we can really execute, blah, 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 it's not going to cut it. You have to really show them, okay, that you are in a position where if you were to receive the funds, you can actually execute. So if you want to make a pitch deck for investors, let's talk about the pitch deck itself. I just showed you a little earlier the main elements of a pitch deck. Now I want to go into the nitty gritty so we can really get really serious here. So that when you think about the anatomy of a great pitch deck, you need to understand that there are slides, and you probably have 6 slides, 6 to 10 slides. Don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too lengthy. Okay. So the first thing is the title slide, a memorable one-liner. So your first few slides are crucial. They're how actually you will create a first good impression. And good impression or first impressions are always important, right? So make sure your cover slide is polished and your tagline is both catchy and descriptive. And so the whole thing is that don't try to really let's say impress investors by doing something that doesn't really resonate with you or it's not you. In other words, you want to be professional, but you also want to be a little catchy, okay? So the title slide is important. Number 2, the problem you're solving, okay? The problem you're solving, I think I just spoke about that. That's really quite essential. The problem you're solving must be pretty significant. In other words, for you to quantify the market potential, the problem can't just, let's say, can just cover, let's say, a slight, or let's say a small portion of the population. In other words, the market potential has to be there, but many people, hundreds of thousands of people must have this problem for you to really solve it profitably. Okay, so that's important. So the problem you're solving is critical. Many of the best pitch decks dive straight into the problem. This gives the audience a clear starting point and helps actually put them in the shoes of your target customer. It also primes them to appreciate the impact of your product. And that's what you want. You want them to think about your product as consequential. So usually the context slides also get into the more human side of the story. So this is important. So what you want to do here is that you want to understand that you want to show what the problem is in the market and what potentially your product or service can actually bring to market to solve it. So if you think about making a pitch deck for investors this year and actually raising millions of dollars in funds, okay, besides the title slide and the problem you're solving, think about the market size and the market fit. So those are two important things. And usually startup owners actually just focus on the market size. Market size is pretty good. I mean, you want to know whether you like the addressable market is 100,000 or 1 million people. But if there is no market fit, how are you going to address it? There has to be market fit. There has to be so market size and market fit must go hand in hand. So the next natural step in your story is to actually show the scale of the problem and the market opportunity. So this second context slide should show data that indicates the size of your target market, the scope of the opportunity, and what returns potential investors can expect to get if they invest. Now, if you are reaching out to a VC firm, a venture capital firm, be very granular here, okay? So VC firms are more thorough, they're more methodical, they're more analytical than, let's say, angel investors. Angel investors are usually wealthy people who really are more interested in the human side of your story, but VC firms are more interested in the quantitative part of your story, in the analytical part of your story. So the last part of this section needs to explain why no other solution adequately addresses the problem right now. And this sets your audience up for the next session, your product, okay? So next slide here, your product. So if you want to have the perfect pitch deck for investors, think about your product and the business model. So it's actually time for you to introduce your product. So after the initial elevator pitch, some slide decks focus on the product's key features to elicit an aha moment from investors. But the thing is that the aha moment is not really what you want. You want to really understand that the product has to fit the problem that you are solving. Okay, the business model slide builds on the provided market context and the product's unique value. Okay, and you want to really connect the two to show how your company will make money from potential customers and why this particular business model best fits the product offering and customer need. You got to really have those two working hand in hand. So this year, if you want to make a pitch deck for investors and actually raise millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, I want you to talk about traction and revenue. Okay, revenue is important. I think I've said this before, but what you want to do here is that you want to really, again, please don't fudge numbers. I'm not really asking you to invent numbers. If you don't know or if you don't have data to back up the numbers you're having, say so. I want you to really say so. Be transparent. Be upfront with investors. Don't try to lie because they'll find out anyway. Those investors are very sophisticated folks. Okay, they've been doing this for many years, or they've been doing this over many. They've been doing this with many companies. So they've had they have a system in place to conduct due diligence. Okay, so when it comes to traction and revenue, make sure whatever numbers you actually put forward are actually accurate. Okay, your slide deck needs to prove that your business plan is not just an abstract idea, but a viable, valuable strategy. So while early stage businesses and even later stage companies in some industries may not yet have revenue, there are other ways to show traction. This might include financial projections, user numbers, waiting lists, or early product engagement. Okay, bottom line is what? You want to demonstrate one thing. You want to demonstrate that people are interested in your product and that they are willing to pay for it at some point. Okay. Also, be sure to include proof, social proof, adoption by known brands, strategic and media partnerships, awards, press, and investment from recognized VCs or angel investors. Next, you want to talk about your team. Okay. So you want to dedicate a slide to your awesome team. You have an awesome team, right? use this slide, to actually demonstrate that you have the competencies, the competitive edge, the background to actually execute. So you want to demonstrate your founding team's unique advantages and what they can deliver. It could also include information about any prior companies your team has founded, as well as relevant industry experience. The whole thing is you want to convince investors that this is not a team of, let's say, inexperienced folks. This is a team of folks who have been around for a while and they know what they're talking about, and they have what it takes to execute. So if you want to make a perfect pitch deck for investors this year, let me talk a little bit about the process, okay? It's important to understand that there are fundraising stages to pay attention to, and based on the stage of where you are at, there will be a certain elements or a certain set of elements to pay attention to. First of all, let's talk about the fundraising stages, the key points to highlight. So every pitch deck should tell a company's story and actually convince the audience to come on board, right? And it doesn't matter what I'm telling. It doesn't matter the states where you're at. It doesn't even matter the country where you're at, okay? Because investors globally have the same mindset, which is to generate revenue for themselves, but to generate revenue for the company, they are interested in. In other words, put in place the foundation, not just monetarily, but the foundation in terms of networking, in terms of skill set to make sure the company is successful. But the stage of your business can change the way your story is told. So you have a pre-seed and seed stage. So here you want to focus on the founding team, market size, business plan, unique product solution, and social proof. Series A, you want to showcase the team, unique product, value compared to the competition, and early traction. Series B and above, this you want to demonstrate your traction, performance metrics, go-to-market plan, and ongoing product vision. So that's important. And it's really important to understand also that the investors you're talking to will focus on your sector in your company stage. So you want to align your pitch with each investors and their investment thesis. So you want to win your next fundraising round with a couple of strategy. Now, by the way, you don't have to do things from scratch. Your pitch deck, you can actually there is software on the internet that has pitch deck templates, okay, that allows you to really get things done real fast, okay. One thing I want to say here is that you want to understand that you want to design your pitch deck to help show investors why your idea, out of all the ideas out there, is the one worth betting on, and you want to use your pitch deck to map out the problem your business solves, your revenue plan, your investment so far, and the financial breakdown of how you will use the funds if you were to get funded, okay? And the cool thing is, if you use, let's say, a pitch deck, a template, you can even customize it to easily match your brand and collaborate on the presentation with your team in real time. That's a good thing. If you don't outsource the design of the pitch deck to let's say to a firm and you use software, that's actually a good way to do it too. If you want to create a pitch deck for investors and raise millions of dollars in the process, let me give you a few hacks to really pay attention to. The top hacks I want you to pay attention to this year. First of all, you want to impress them with your intro. I mean, I think I've said this before in this show. First impressions always matter. How you feel, how you make investors feel. They will actually remember you. They'll remember you big time, okay? So you want to impress them with your intro. Investors are busy people. One of the best ways to set your pitch up for success is with a fantastic hook. So that's important, okay? You want to first introduce the problem, right? Then explain why that's a big deal. Finally, present your big idea. Go straight to the point. So one of the best ways to make your pitch stand out is with a fantastic hook. And you got to have the hook right off the bat. Number two, you want to break down your ask, okay? How much are you asking for? Be very straightforward. Be very direct here. Don't really beat around the bush. Don't waste people's time. When you are asking for a significant investment, investors won't just want to know that your idea is great. They want to know how their money will help bring it to life. So as you outline the impact of their investment, think about tangible and intangible benefits. Okay, some investors are interested in the intangible benefits. That's what I told you a little earlier. Angel investors, for instance, are interested in the human aspect of their investment, while VC firms are more interested in the numbers. Let's say in the quantitative aspect. So if you have clear financial projections with and without their investment, go ahead and share them. Also, feel free to share less numbers oriented outcomes, like ways your customers' experience will improve, or ways you'll be able to retain employees. Okay, you don't have to mention that you use a part of their investment to get tapas or guacamole or whatever every week for office happy hour. That's really already implied. Okay, so you want to show investors. That's the bottom line here. You want to show investors. You want Sorry about that. You want to show investors exactly how you plan to spend their money. That's really going to increase their confidence in your ability to manage their money pretty well. One thing for sure, if you want to make a pitch deck for investors that can allow you to raise millions of dollars, you want to keep it short and sweet. Okay, don't try to really go for something kilometric. No. Remember, your pitch is not the end of the conversation. It is the beginning, okay? You want to focus on storytelling. You will have a much stronger pitch if you include only the most important details, ditch the fluff, and leave time for questions, okay? So when in doubt, you want to live it out. That's really the bottom line, okay? So for a stronger pitch, leave time for questions. You always want to leave time for questions because this is how you're going to elicit. This is how you are going to elicit interest. So you want to also chart the smart way. So your data is impressive, but hey, listen, if you can really incorporate visual elements, that will really elevate your pitch even more. So that's important. And you can also create tables or paste them from your spreadsheet editor if you already have an existing sheet. You can also use shortcuts in your workflow to save time. Okay. That will really help you also see, the whole thing is you want to have a pitch deck as short and straightforward as possible. Because again, I think I've said this before, investors are really busy. And so they want to understand that you are really taking their time seriously. 5-10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. If you have a big idea and you are asking for a lot of money, okay. One thing I want to say here is that in terms of financial information that you have to show in your pitch deck, you want to really think about your current market share, your revenue model, and also a financial breakdown explaining how you would use it, okay, how you use their money. You want to include details like pricing tiers and revenue projections if applicable. Investors will want to know exactly how their funding will help your idea succeed, right? That's really an important element. So bottom line is, what really makes a successful investor pitch deck is that you want to have a strong hook. Please don't forget that, a strong hook right off the bat. You want to have background information about what makes your business viable. And also you want to have a solid revenue plan. Now, when I speak about revenue plan, I want to insist on the honesty part of things. You want to be straightforward. You want to tell the truth. If you don't know, just say so. Don't try to fudge numbers. Some startup owners or startup founders, they feel the need to always have numbers, or even invent numbers. That's a bad idea. If you don't know, just say so, okay? But always be honest. A successful investor pitch deck is also concise and straight to the point, so investors have enough time to ask questions about their concerns. So in closing remarks into this conversation, I spoke to you about how to make a pitch deck for investors. I gave you the main elements of a pitch deck. I spoke about the pitch deck itself, the process, and the top hacks. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.